Van Morgan Show back again. So see if we can fire up some views. We are talking about crimes of people in power. There's a beautiful view behind me. So a pretty view might make me look a little better. So we're talking about crimes of the privilege. And this is Charles Van Morgan Show. Come on in. Second take, talking about cider fighter and trots to the bathroom. The Charles Van Morgan Show. Come on in, and we'll finish the dialogue about crimes of the people in power and the wrong that they do. So wow, look at this beautiful view. Look at this beautiful view out here in Knoxville, Tennessee. So yeah, this the river. And so yeah, come on in. Beautiful view. So here's the backed up bridge where they've closed down the Gay Street Bridge, the government has. That bridge was open for 100 years, 1898, and all of a sudden in 2025, they don't have the money to fix it. It stayed open through the Depression, and now they don't have the money to open it. That's what they claim. They got the money to open it, they don't want to. There's the crooked, dirty courthouse. And here is the backed up traffic that gives us the opportunity to campaign. Yeah, we'll wait for people here. Hello. So, Charles Van Morgan in the morning. So we're going to put this sign right here at the Knox County Courthouse and do a little of the social movement organization activities. We're going to go right down here at the end of the bridge where they funnel everybody. They got to see this sign. I'm not going to do it. And put this sign up at the courthouse. Hello. And we're going to talk about cider fighter and trace your trots to the bathroom, show you the depositions where they lied under oath. Hello. So Charles Van Morgan Show, second script, second attempt at getting some more people in here. So we got some really important, interesting things to talk to you about today. We're talking about the crimes of the powerful. We're going to go through the record and talk about tracing trots to the bathroom. And we're going to talk about cider fighter, the lies she told under oath, and talk about the potential of murder that maybe potentially Trots committed, the former Colonel Trots, that he committed because he admitted under oath that he was involved in deadly incidences. We know that they lied about incidences that I was involved in. So we know if they said that he didn't do anything wrong in the instances involving death and destruction, that he shot at somebody, he's involved in shooting incidences, that he's involved in high-speed pursuits resulting in the death of people, and we know that he lies, and we know that they cleared him, we know the department lies, so how do we know that he didn't do anything wrong in those incidences? We don't know that. But we do know, because of him testifying against me under oath, that he was involved in deadly force incidences. And I'll show you on the record where he admits to that. Because when he's trying to get rid of me, and I know I didn't do anything wrong, then we know that he is possibly gaslighting. So we'll show you on the record where we got him locked down and admitting to those deadly incidences. And we don't know what happened, and we need to get in power And we need to investigate that. So let's look at the scenery here. We got a few people on here, about as many as we had before. Come on in, Charles Van Morgan in the morning. Like, share, comment, subscribe. And didn't you watch a child burn? No. Look at the video and you'll see me. Yeah, this guy is no Bruno. Yeah. And so we got a bunch of haters in here. Look at the sun rising, and look at the bridge right here. Like, share, comment, and we will show you our social movement activities. We're out here on a public sidewalk, and we can wave at people. So we'll show. Yeah, y'all see. The sign now says live now. And they have funneled everybody across this bridge because they closed down that one, so that gives us the opportunity to use the government's ignorance to our benefit. Everybody has to come across this bridge right here. So, bicycle lane right there. We just went over the distance. Not right, buddy. Yeah. So, we'll wait for people out here. So people that don't wave back, that's what we do. Now she wave. Okay. Yeah, we're on the social movement. Charles Van Morgan in the morning, so it shows fraud elections. We're still here. That's a picture of me when I was at UT Police. That's not photograph. And this is what we're going to put at the courthouse. Justice is not blind. It pays them to find you guilty when you're not. That's a bit, Section 18.2, Bill of Costs, County Ordinance, violates county judicial retirement. So that shows how crooked these people are. So let's see how many people got in here now. Got a few. So thank you for everyone in here. Ignore the haters, mate. That's right. You're right, Simon Struthridge, 5N5T. You're right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely positively right. And we will do that. And point out that the haters are in here because they are afraid of what I got to say. So let's get some water. So thank y'all so much for joining. We're gonna go to the end of the bridge here where we got a beautiful view. You can see the sun spirit. And there's the courthouse, the crooked courthouse where judges have raped people in that courthouse right there, Baumgardner Courthouse. And there's still judges in there today. You might as well say they're raping you of your money, because every time they get a guilty fee, they don't even have to have a jury. They get $6 toward their retirement. So in these Tennessee courtrooms, you're $6 ahead. They see you coming in there, and if you try to say, I wasn't guilty, I was such and such, try to defend yourself, I know for a fact they say, shut up. You're not allowed to testify. Shut up. You're guilty. Pay the clerk. And you pay the clerk hundreds of dollars, and part of it goes to $6 a head goes to him. So they see dollar signs when you come in their crooked courtroom. So we got the deposition testimony from Tracy Trotz in my back pocket, and Cider Fighter. And we're going to show you what they lied to based on what they said. You see, if you tell a lie, there's always something that can disprove it out there, maybe. That's why they say, what a tangled web we weave, when at first we attempt to deceive. If you tell the truth, you ain't got to worry about it. It's the truth. There's nothing that can disprove it. There might be something that looks a little bad, but you can explain it. You can say, no, that's not what that means. It means this. I know it does because this is the truth. And that's how they get lies too. They make up stuff and they exploit stuff that's not true and take stuff out of place and lie about stuff. But you can go through the record and you can see, hey, they said this or they admitted to this, and this is what the facts show. So it can't be true, so they lied under oath. They're dirty liars. So we're almost to the end of the bridge. We're going to show you that. We're going to show you the deposition testimony. Sworn under oath, a blind cider fighter. And she got promoted to major after she lied and increased the fatality rate in Knox County in the state of Tennessee. She increased the fatality rate by taking me off the road. Increased it exponentially. It's still increased today, up 45%. And for lying for the establishment, she got promoted. So you don't get promoted for lowering the fatality rate. You get promoted, you get elevated for protecting the people in state crimes. And I can prove it. And that's what we're dealing with. That's why we have Power to You the People. Charles Van Morgan Show. You won't hear this journalistic truth anywhere else. My life's in danger for saying this. They'd like to kill me. So, y'all see any snipers? Y'all see any? Let's see. So, and if you think I'm just blowing smoke, they've already falsely arrested me and beat me up, put me in a hospital. I was sore for days, had to go to the hospital for a false arrest. For running for office. I might run for office again. So I'm subject to false arrest, subject to being murdered by the government for speaking out. You can see they're all over my page lying about me. Why are they doing that for? If I'm insignificant, why don't they leave me alone? Because I'm not insignificant. I know what the hell I'm talking about. And they don't want me to get it out. And that's why I'm going to tell you what they don't want me to say. So if you want to hear what they don't want me to say, that they literally arrested me for, hang on, it's coming. So we'll look at their deposition testimony. Like, share, comment, and if you can, then contribute. Resource mobilization theory says that we gotta have resources to continue our social movement. So yeah, here's one guy that wants to use the bike lane. So if you want to hear what I got to say, if you think it's important, then join the show. Listen, join in. So he is homeless now? No, I'm not homeless. They'd like for me to be homeless. So like, share, comment, contribute, and support the movement. Power to You the People. So this is what we're going to put at the City County building. And if you can enjoy the view, the sun spear. And then we're going to put this up at the City County building. We had one of these up the other day, but they took it down. So we're gonna put it back up, and at the City County building. And we may put this sign down there. So let's talk about Tracy Trotz to the bathroom and how they went on a witch hunt against me for telling the truth. So yeah, we got 100, almost 100 people in here. A witch hunt, a campaign to identify, investigate correct behavior that undermines a group or country. So they're trying to undermine me, both in the chat and in reality. So we're talking about state crimes. State crimes. Crimes committed by government officials or state actors in the course of their official duties, often violating laws or human rights. Examples: corruption or bribery by public officials, falsifying documents or evidence, wrongful persecutions of citizens, political persecution like arresting me, or using the state apparatus to punish opponents. Key feature: the state itself or its officials acting under the guise of authority is the source of the crime. So we're talking about crimes by Tracy Trotz. He's a criminal. It's not defamation, it's the damn truth. And he don't want me to say that. That's why they arrested me. If you don't think what I got it's important to say, it was important enough for them to put me in jail and try to shut me up for the First Amendment because it was the truth. Did the charges stick? No. No, they didn't. They can get any civil charge through their crooked court system because the judge decides the civil case, whether you're wrong or not. You don't have a right to a jury on civil charges in a lot of civil cases. So they've charged me with civil stuff, and a civil judge has said that I'm guilty wrongfully. I didn't do what he said I did. He wouldn't even let me testify. And they try to make you look bad in the public. And that's why they arrested me. They knew they couldn't get the charges. The criminal charge, you get a jury to go through. And it don't go just to the judge. You get to talk to a jury, citizen of your peers. And I could have told the jury, hey, look, I didn't do anything wrong. I was running for public office. I was behind the line asking people to vote for me. People got mad because I was influencing people to vote for me, so they called the police out and the police arrested me falsely. It beat me up. They said I resisted arrest. Where's the body cam showing me resisted arrest? That happened to disappear, didn't it? So they arrest you to make you look bad. So if you don't think what I got's important to say, it's important to them. You got these chatters on here trying to say, hey, he's no good, shut me up. You got the government, people in government power trying to shut me up. So I must be saying something they don't want me to say. So even if you don't agree with it, you want to listen to what they don't want me to say, because I'm about to get ready to say it, part of it right now. I'm also, a book I got offered for $100. It's a Charles Van Morgan story, The Truth That They Don't Want You to Hear, by me. So get the word out. So let's talk about Tracy Trotz and his government crimes. Now here's the deposition of Mr. Tracy Trotz, right here. See, he used this to demise me. He used this to try to destroy me. Let's flip the script. Former Colonel Trott, you big hero that you think you are, that you're stupid. You're stupid you're dumb as a doorknob. Because let me tell you something, Trott, if he's listening, call him on the phone, tell him, hey, Charles Van Morgan's talking about you. He's calling you a dirtbag, criminal, thief, dirty liar. He's accusing you of possible murder. And I got the proof, it's all in here. See, somebody that it's their calling, that's who they are. They like to fight, they're a fighter. You better pack a lunch when you start a fight with them, because they're going to be coming back 13 years later, 14 years later, 20 years, until they beat your ass. You know, and I've heard somebody say that, not me, but somebody said they'd like to piss on his grave. I'm just saying, so even after you're gone. Not me, I didn't say that. Ray Fairclough said that. So I'm just saying, pack a lunch, Trotter. I'm still out here, and you know something I got that you ain't got? I got the truth. I got what you swore to under oath, you dirtbag, right here. And it's proof of his gaslighting that he may have committed a murder. I'm just saying, he accused me of wrongdoing in a pursuit where somebody died, and he admitted that he was in a pursuit, but he was cleared. So it goes to logic, just says that he may be gaslighting, because where would he get that idea that I did something wrong when he knows good and well I didn't? From his conduct. He admits to being involved in shootings where he shot at people on the job. That doesn't say that people died, but you got to figure he won't tell you because he wasn't directly asked, because it wasn't about that. But he testified against me, and this is what he testified to. When he testified against me, it's proof against him in a later possible criminal proceeding, because there is no statute of limitations on murder, Trots. If I ever get in power, get somebody in power, we're going to look into your doings while you're a state highway patrol trooper, because we know internal investigations lies. So if they cleared you, then we know maybe they lied. I'm just saying, it needs to be looked into. And maybe we need to put him in jail for murder, homicide, because he might be. There he is, right there. Look how professional he is. Oh, wow, look at that. Great man in his own mind. Somebody call him, tell him I'm on here, calling him a dog on a public sidewalk. You wanted to fight, didn't you, Trots? Hey, you wanted to fight, didn't you? But you picked on the wrong person, because I learned to fight when I was a kid growing up without a dad. I learned to fight on my own. You got the whole state highway patrol. Well, we'll see. I didn't need a lot of help when I was a kid, didn't have a dad. I learned how to fight on my own, Trots. to the bathroom. So let's see what he testified to under oath and see if maybe he testified to crimes. I think he did. And we'll talk about Major Heatherly. And we'll talk about Major Cheryl Sanders. Major Cheryl Sanders, she got promoted for lying. She lied for trots to the bathroom. She was a captain when she lied, so she got promoted by him to major. Isn't that amazing? You don't get promoted for telling the truth. You get promoted for lying. Isn't that amazing how that works out? Real convenient for them, isn't it? If you tell the truth, they'll find somebody else that will lie for them, and that they'll promote them instead. So I want to get promoted. I want more money. So they lie. That's how that works out. So we'll show you about his lies. If somebody tell that dirtbag, I'm here on a public sidewalk. I'm not defaming him. Defamation is false communication. I'm showing you what he testified to under oath. If he wants to testify, he didn't testify to this under oath. I'll show you we'll pull out the record and show you what he said and what we believe, our take on it. We believe he may have murdered somebody. We don't know. I think there's enough room for that lady to get by there. People in a hurry, boy, they'll do whatever they need to do. So we'll show you what Tracy Trotz testified to. Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Pretty good. So enjoy the view. Look at the traffic backed up here. This is the government. This is a good old Knoxville government backed up traffic here for miles. Like, share, comment, resource mobilization theory, contribute. So vocabularies are created subtly, at times not so subtly, seek to influence the public. For example, pro-abortion rights group choose to characterize themselves as pro-choice, whereas anti-abortion groups label themselves as pro-life. The term domestic violence evokes a response different from invoked by the term family domestic dispute. The term stalker is particularly more evacuated than obsessed follower. Such tactics accomplish more than simply gaining public forum for an issue. They transform the issue into a good versus evil contrast, or a form of personal trouble to a social problem whereby the public can more easily take a stand. Now, that's what they do. The result of the propaganda activity, that's Tracy Trotz, he put out propaganda in a legal proceeding by groups contesting an issue, often is public indignation about the friction that emerged from interest groups. So he tried to create public indignation. The creation is symbolic. For the public, it is real. Often an illustration in his study of drink and driving laws governing driving under the influence of alcohol so effective were anti-driving campaigns that the public now equates the image of drinking driver with that of a killer. Gusfield argues that the concept is at odds with reality, at least as it is measured, the types of cases brought before the courts, most of which are treated leniently. Gentry, 1988, makes the same point in her discussion of the issue abducted children as a social problem, so skillfully were the interested parties in framing this issue. So they frame issues and use language to try to infuriate people or to lessen the impact of an issue. And that's what they did with me. Like how they use the word nightstick versus baton. If they hit somebody with a nightstick, that seems bad. Hello. If they hit somebody with a nightstick, that seems bad. If they hit somebody with a baton, that ain't as bad. Well, Tracy Trotz painted the picture of me as a horrendous individual and glorified not just a regular drunk driver, a dangerous, violent drunk driver. Glorified him. Called him a young man, like he was a baby. Said that. Those ambulance people are angels when you need help. So he misused the system to use words to try to defame me falsely, using his position as major and government power to defame me, which is crooked as hell. Used it. Hello.
Could you tell me how to get to the courthouse from here?
I sure can. It is all you gotta do is straight down that way. It's if you want to go to the main entrance, well, you can get there either way. I just go straight ahead, and it's this big building on the right here, just straight ahead.
Okay. Thank you.
So yeah, there you go. We're out here, boots on the ground in public. Don't hurt us to help people. So like, share, comment, and subscribe, and contribute. Resource mobilization. Contribute to the social movement. So abuse process is what they did to me. They alleged that I did something wrong, put me through a court system, abusing the process. There wasn't no need to do that. Here is abusive process. People in power crimes. Definite misuse of legal or procedure mechanisms by officials or authorities for personal, political, or improper gain. Abusive process specifically refers to using the legal system to harass, which is what they did to me, intimidate, or gain advantage over someone rather than to achieve justice. Examples. They gave me a subpoena when they said I couldn't testify. Filing criminal charges knowing they're baseless, intimidate someone. That's what they did to me, charged me with criminal charges. Using investigations or audits selectively against political enemies, deliberately delaying the legal process to harm someone's reputation or financial status. The law or processes itself is misused rather than the act being inherently criminal or civilly wrong. So that's what they did to me. They used the criminal process and the civil process to defame me, to make me look bad. So let's find the papers I got here about Mr. Tracy Trotz, and we'll show you the crimes that he committed. And they got it through a judge, because these judges, you say, well, a judge said it was right. These judges are on the side of the governor. The governor, he's the one that fired me. That man right there fired me. That man right there, see that man right there? He's the one that fired me. And you're asking a judge, that's his wife, she's the one that agreed with him. She agreed with him. Her husband got promoted to Tennessee Supreme Court. So you see, if she had ruled in my favor the truth, her husband wouldn't got promoted by him. He fired me. She agreed with him. Her husband gets promoted. Isn't that funny how that works out? Abuse of power. So he owns the judges. He owns the judge. He owns him. He's got him in his pocket. Wife Chancellor Court unjudged Judge McCoy, despite facts, truth, ruled in favor of Haslam, then Governor Haslam, to get husband promoted to Supreme Court of Tennessee. Page, husband of McCoy, promoted by corrupt husband to keep rulings in his favor. Page went on to lie to the people of Tennessee, saying he would be sworn in a few months, only to go and have it done immediately. That was to avoid public scrutiny of him and his wife. So, okay, I got comments from Pastor Byer. Like, share, comment. Thank you all. Got almost 200 people in here now. So, Charles Van Morgan Live. So, if you think you can go to a Tennessee courtroom and get a fair hearing, you're going to run into one of the governor's judges. And the judge will rule in favor of the governor so that they can get promoted, or one of their family members. They're not going to adjudicate the truth. So people say a judge adjudicated in Charles Van Morgan's case because a judge lied. A judge is crooked. That's part of the reason why we need to vote them out. The Supreme Court elections are coming up in 2030. Vote every damn one of them out. Let's get some judges that'll rule for the Constitution. It ought to mean something, but it don't. dirty as hell. So people think it bothers me. We're out here and they say stuff, or, you know, I'm out here boots on the ground for a reason. If you want to ask me a question, ask me. We love people. The government don't. It's Charles Van Morgan. So news you won't hear. Corrupt people in government power. That's what we're talking about. So we're going to put this at the courthouse. So let's look at some of the crimes that, some of the stuff that Trotz admitted to. See, here's another person, a judge being promoted by the governor. You think if you're going against the governor, saying something the governor says is unconstitutional, that judge is going to rule in your favor? He ruled in the favor at the trial court level. It's the reason why he's getting promoted, not because he ruled for the truth. He lied for the governor. Then the governor promotes you. It's about their elite power. It ain't about the truth of the Constitution. They're stepping all over the Constitution. He's the biggest hypocrite ever walked the face of the planet. He's a dirtbag. So I wouldn't vote for them. So let's look at Trott's lies. We promised you we're going to tell you about that, and we are. Let's find it here. Okay. We're going to tell you also how Blind Lil Russell got promoted. Now, Trotz said that he came down to the scene of my wreck. It's a lie under oath, because of the seriousness of the incident. Because of the seriousness of the incident. That's what he said under oath. He said that he felt like that he needed to come down to the scene because it was such a serious incident involving, in my pursuit, where one drunk driver fled high rate of speed before I ever laid eyes on him. He was driving 78, 79 in a 40 on a road we'd got complaints at, turned off on a 2-lane road. He was driving a high rate of speed before I ever laid eyes on him. He probably would have killed himself anyway, or might have hit somebody else and killed him. That could have been worse. Happens all the time. Drunk people kill themselves in drunk driving wrecks. It's not a serious incident. It's not. If it was, try to be busy every day almost going to serious incidences. But he says he came down to the scene. That's one of his lies, because he says he came down to the scene because of the seriousness of the incident. Let's see if we can find it here. Colonel Troy, I was going to show you, let's see. I just want to make sure I understand something. You state that you are of the opinion that Trooper Morgan saw the crash and chose to ignore it. I have no doubt about that. That's based on the video, based on my personal inspection of the scene, driving the scene, the roadway characteristics, position of the vehicle. Position of the crash, yes, drove the scene, but it's fair to say that you didn't drive it in the exact conditions of Trooper Morgan. I wasn't chasing anybody. Okay, so that's another thing he says chasing somebody. He wasn't chasing somebody. But when he was involved in pursuits, he uses the word pursuits. But when he's talking about my incident, he says chasing. So he's saying I was chasing somebody. But when he was involved in deadly pursuits, that we don't know if he was justified or not, because we know that he wasn't justified in what he said about me. He says I was involved in a chase. See how he's changing the words around? I was chasing somebody, but when he killed somebody in a pursuit, possibly, that they cleared, that we don't trust them, he says that he was in a pursuit. So see how he changes the words around, frame stuff, just like I read you earlier? I wasn't chasing anybody. Oh, yeah, but Van Morgan, Trooper Morgan was chasing somebody, but the pursuit you were in pursuits that somebody died in. So he said that, let's see, let's see where we find here where he said, okay, here's what he says about himself. This is his testimony under oath, where he swears to this stuff. deposition of Tracy Trott, June 14, 2013. That's a long time ago, but the statute of limitations, like, share, comment, and share the love if you can. Resource mobilization theory, that's his testimony under oath. That's the liar. That's the thug. Little squirrely fella. Look at that. Tough guy, and he work. Really. Work out a little bit, Trots, before you get to fight with somebody like me, because we're gonna clobber you. With not only did I used to lift weights when I was a trooper, I got a little knowledge. I know how to beat your ass. And one of the ways is continue fighting, never give up. He'd like to kill me. But look at this right here. He says he admits this is maybe his crime. Tracy Trott's crime. Do you believe that? Okay. Are you familiar with the concept of tunnel vision in law enforcement officers? Yes. Do you believe that that occurs with law enforcement officers in some circumstances? To some extent, yes, sir. See, to some extent, not in this situation, because we want to change the facts around in Charles Lamb Morgan's case. Because we're on a mission to take him off the road because he made a legitimate complaint against one of our supervisors that made false complaints against him. So we're trying to get rid of him. So we know how to do this. We've done it before, and we own the judges and we own the court system. So we're fixing to lie. But what about when we flip the script, Trots? And that's what we're trying to do. We may not do it, but we're sure trying. Don't get involved with a fighter. They won't never quit, boy. You old piece of dirt. So here we go. So have you been involved in critical incidences, a wreck or a shooting? Many. In which one, wreck or shooting? Both. Have you been involved in a crash where someone was killed? I was. Were you involved in the crash? I was in pursuit. So you see where when he says that he was in pursuit of someone that was killed, he says pursuit. But when he says I was chasing somebody, so you see how he flips the script? You dirty thug. You don't think somebody will figure that out? And he says that he was involved. This is the serious thing. And if power changes, let's investigate his pursuits where someone was killed. He's gaslighting. He says that in which one, a record shooting, have you been involved in a crash where someone was killed? I was. So he's admitting under oath in his testimony against me stuff that needs to be investigated. Did he kill somebody in a pursuit? He wasn't asked. Whether he was involved in a shooting. So he shot at somebody. He wasn't asked whether somebody was killed, but he's admitting to shooting at someone, trying to take their life from them. Was that justified? Now, obviously, the department said it was, or he wouldn't have been cleared and been back to work. But we know that the department don't have honest investigations because they took me off the job based on what he wanted them to do. So was he involved in a murder? He admits on the record, we got him under oath, admitting this. I'm just saying, Trots, you dumbass. You admitting under oath, look at this guy. June 12, 2013, there's no statute of limitations on murder. He's admitting under oath. In which one? Both. Have you ever been involved in critical instances, a wreck or a shooting? Many. He admits to many. In which one, a wreck or shooting? Both. Have you been involved in a crash where someone was killed? He says he was in a pursuit. So there's no statute of limitations on murder, Trots. Let's look into these circumstances and find out if he killed somebody. If he shot somebody to death, we know he tried to destroy my credibility, tried to destroy my future, sent people to my house that could have killed my children. We know how dirty the SOB is. Did he kill somebody on the job that was covered up by people in state power? Maybe. I mean, he testified that. We got the record right here, you dirty idiot. And we can use it against him. I don't know. I mean, if we ever get in power trots, we'll investigate your hind end. It don't smell real good from where I'm standing. He said that he came down to the incident because of the seriousness of the incident. That's what he said, testified to in here under oath. The seriousness of the incident, a drunk driver killed herself. That's not a serious incident. That's not serious at all. It happens all the time. People run from troopers and end up crashing and killing themselves. And sometimes they find them days later. I was in another pursuit where I ended the pursuit. Somebody killed themselves. He didn't come down to the scene then because I had made a complaint of his sergeant complaining on me and asking me to do things dangerous. What changed? I made a legitimate complaint against the Department of Safety, so he's going to lie on me to get rid of me because they don't want people in the department exposing their public corruption. Is exactly. And he's a dirty liar. So I hope y'all enjoy the view. Wow. Okay. So he said that because of the seriousness of the incident, he felt like it was important for him to come down to the scene. And let's see. It says here. It says that. That he said that here's what he said. Another lie in the record. He said, did you recommend term? Well, as you know, there was a pursuit, a crash involving a young man. Yeah. How old was the man that you might have killed that was killed instantly against the tree? He says, it was the determination of the investigation that Trooper Morgan saw the crash and chose to ignore it, passing the scene, leaving the victim in the car that was smoking, and ultimately caught on fire without knowing whether he was dead or alive. That's a dirty lie. Okay, will you recommend, did you take into account the past record with the department? I did. He has been recognized for his hard work and achievement and DUI enforcement. Done very good work in state, but I felt like the rules of progressive punishment really did not apply in a case that was as serious as this case. So it's a serious case. A drunk driver killed herself. And why did you think it was so serious? Just because of the facts that it involved a death and the fact that the public was generally outraged by the actions of the trooper, and to be honest with you, the department and the members of the department were very upset at the actions of the trooper. Okay, that's what he said under oath. That's what he said under oath. Okay, because of the seriousness of the incident. Okay, about 8 months later, there was and that's one drunk driver been killed. About 8 months later, a trooper was involved in a pursuit on 411. We're talking about Trott's testimony under oath. Now, he said the seriousness of the incident. One person got killed herself, drunk, wants to do something alcohol with it. And he's testifying, it's a serious incident, trying to, flip the script, make inflammatory. Under oath, he's trying to be inflammatory. He's not telling the truth. He's not an honest man. He's a dirtbag. Told people where I live. I'm an honest man and don't wish him harm physically. I want him prosecuted. I want him in jail. I know his address. I can give it to you right now, but I'm not a piece of dirt like him. Trot, you're a piece of dirt. You hung my children out. I'll fight you, I'll do it the right way. You need to be prosecuted. You need to be in jail. You need to be in court. I'll give a victim impact statement. I'll have my children giving a victim impact statement. It wasn't because of seriousness of the incident. It's because you wanted to lie on somebody and you raised the fatality rate, and I know where you live. And I'm not going to let you get by with what you did to me and my family. I'm not going to let that THPP get by with that. You're going to be held accountable. I'm right here. You feel giddy? Now look what he did. Seriousness of the incident. You're not going to get by with endangering my children, Trots. Somebody call him. Tell him I'm out here. Now, seriousness of the incident. This is a person that Amanda Cohen, 44. She died in Blount County, a head-on collision by a trooper that was in pursuit on 411. 2 people were killed. Now, I'm doing this for effect. So, Trotz needs to be in jail. This is a wreck where 2 people got killed. 2 people got killed. Not 1, 2. A impaired driver that Trooper Pettigo turned around on. This is 8 months after he came to the incident because it's a serious incident. One drunk driver killed herself. That's what he lied, and that's a lie under oath. That ain't why you came down to the incident. You came down to the incident to frame somebody. Use the whole power of state government to frame and defame somebody. Yeah, well, let me tell the public the truth. Almost 1 million people listen to me, you dirty man. You sick man. You pathetic individual. There was August 14th, 2012, about just a few months after that happened to me. 2 people were killed in a pursuit with John Pettigo. Did Trotz come down to the scene because 2 people were killed and an innocent person got killed? Hell no, he came down to the scene to frame somebody, Trotz. Everybody knows that now. Look at this right here. So Trotz is a dirty liar. So yeah, here we go. August 14, 2012, US 411 Blount County near Spring Road. A head-on collision between a Ford Taurus driven by a Malcon and Chrysler by John Perkins. Trooper Pettigo was in pursuit of that vehicle, and she died. So did Tracy Trotz come down to the scene when the trooper didn't follow the law? No, he didn't. He came down to the scene to lie and institute a false legal proceeding. It's what he did. He's a liar, and that's what the whole THP will do right now. So he needs to be investigated and put in jail. That's his testimony. It don't matter if he's sticking to it. He swore to that under oath. So that's where and he also admitted to being in a pursuit where he's killed people, and shootings where he's killed people. So and here's what he said about me. Here's what that dirtbag said about me. Yeah, it gets me furious. It should get everybody furious. Dirtbag. You got to be in jail. So he said that leaving the victim in the car, smoking, ultimately caught on fire without knowing he's dead alive. Let's jail him for lying. Went out on a limb to attack me when it killed Tennessee. Let's fight back. Jail him. And we need to jail him. They're lighting up the car. They added evidence that wasn't even there. So let's jail Trotz. Let's jail Tracy Trotz. Investigate him for his dirty lies and his possible criminal murdering somebody. He says here, was Morgan attempting to put out the fire in a way that would actually seem to know he was spraying his fire extinguisher over the top of the flames. He doesn't mention, where was the base of the fire when you're talking about a car fire? It's in the engine. It's, he doesn't mention that the general order, you don't even have to did he come out to the scene when Trooper Dwayne Stafford shot somebody? You don't even have to use the fire extinguisher when it is a car fire. The policies don't even say you have to do that. The policy says at a car fire that you have to report to the fire department. You don't have to use a fire extinguisher. So they lied about that. So here's what it says. Here's what he testified to. At the base of flames, we're supposed to spray it at the base of flames. What in the video tells us exactly what Trooper Moore did. He was pointing a fire extinguisher where it was spraying over the top of the flames. It was like a sprinkler effect. Okay, here's what the and I'm not a trained fireman. Here's what the general order says. Mr. Morgan, page 4, line 1, Burlett. Up against a tree. When you, Mr. Morgan, when you approach the vehicle and we see it with the fire extinguisher that we see at the fire extinguisher, would have been where it was aimed correct? I was aiming the fire extinguisher at the fire attempt to put the fire out. That's what I testified to under oath. That's what I'm doing. They're arguing while they're in safety about the angle of the fire extinguisher while I'm at a car fire explosion while they're in an office building. Now, when you turned around and came back, once you got your fire extinguisher, got close to the fire, is it fair to say that it was hot? Mr. Morgan, yes, sir. And did you have a concern about the condition of the car and the flames? Yes, sir. What was that? I was concerned that the car would explode and hit me or kill me. So I am at the scene of a car fire where I might get killed, might get blowed up, and they're saying behind safety, watching a video, saying that I didn't aim the fire extinguisher right when I might get killed. Real brave of that dirty son of a bitch, isn't it? So I'm testifying, and you said several times in response to questions that you were spraying the fire at the fire extinguisher to put the fire out. Is that true? Do you know what else should have been doing with the fire extinguisher other than spraying it at the fire to put it out? No. Have you ever been pursuit that ended in a car fire? No. That's Mr. Trotz. Well, clearly we see, but think it's important for you to say, you couldn't get to this car, could you? No, sir. Okay, did you immediately notify the fire department? Yes, as soon as I saw and spotted the car and identified it as a wreck, knew there was a wreck, I contacted the fire department. Are you familiar with the Tennessee Department of Safety Crash Investigation Manual? Now let's look at the Crash Investigation Manual, which tells you if I violated any department policies. Say that my fire extinguisher was aimed wrong at all the time. It wasn't aimed right at every second that I was spraying, trying to put a fire out. Now that's how analytical these people are. Trying to figure out what I did wrong. And we'll show you here. Here's what I did right. Their rule book says, let's look at their rule book. Their rule book says, did you see the last, let's see what the rule book says. Are you familiar with Tennessee Department of Safety Crash Investigation Manual? That's what the rule book says. Page 56, line 23. The rule book. Do you see the last page entitled At the Scene Responsibilities? Do you see subsection B? Yes, sir. Could you read that, please? Many unstable situations may present or discovered upon arrival at the scene. Before continuing, the investigating member should always survey the scene for a minimum of the following. And one of the things listed is number 4. What is that? Vehicle fires. So when you come up on a fire, a car on fire, this is what the rules say. This is not what they later say. This is how we can frame it to make him look bad by lying on him, saying that his fire extinguisher wasn't aimed right. Is that in the rule book? Does it say anywhere where you're supposed to aim the fire extinguisher? Do they produce any records that say, hey, it says you're supposed to do this at a car fire? Hell no, they made it up because they're dirtbag criminals that have raised their fatality rate on the road. Now, this is what they're testifying to under oath, that I did something wrong. This is what their own rule book says. Read it. I'm a little smarter than you assholes that cause people to die, you fraudulent, sick people. So, could you read that, please? Many unstable situations may present or discover upon arrival at the scene. Before continuing, the member should investigate always the scene before a minimum for the following. And one of the things listed, what is that? Vehicle fires. And subsection C says what? If any of the above situations account, a member should notify the communications operator and request appropriate assistance. And did you notify communications operator request the fire department? Yes, sir. So it doesn't say if a car fire, you're supposed to go up there and spray the fire extinguisher at the base of a car fire. It doesn't say that in there, does it? It says to notify the fire department. That's our rules, but they make up their own rules when they're trying to incriminate you while they're behind the desk in cowardiceness. I wasn't afraid not to do my job at the scene of fire, and I'm not afraid to take you down, Trots. You criminal. And we're going to, let's see. Yes, sir. Is it your opinion that you complied with the traffic and crash manual? Yes, sir. I complied with the investigation manual. Mr. Parks, I would like this marked as Exhibit 18. So I complied with the manual. I complied with the traffic investigation manual. So what did I do wrong? Nothing. They made it up. And here's what the evidence shows. And if you want the full book on this, where I'll show you all the evidence broke down Barney style against Tracy Trotz, you can read the book. The reason why this matters to you is because the traffic fatality is still high to this day. It hasn't went down, and it's still a dangerous society because of what they did. So here we go. No documentation. Captain represents. Mr. Morgan has. Oh yeah, that's another where the captain says that I have a conflict with supervisors, but she presents no evidence of that fact, and my evaluation says all fives on my evaluation. So how could I get into it with supervisors? Sanders' deposition. So under your command, you never had any accession to write him up or anything you call Sanders. There was counseling, but it was for disagreeing with supervisors and having verbal altercations in the court with officers. So Sanders' testimony is that I have verbal altercations with officers in the courtroom and have verbal altercations with supervisors. That's what Sanders says. Under oath, she testifies to that in her deposition. She testified that I had verbal altercation with supervisors in her testimony, Colonel Sanders, in her sworn testimony. That's what she said. So let's look at the evidence. So she's coming off the top of her head, we counseling. Of course, that wouldn't be on any record or anything. Just counseling off the record. But if I had counseling with supervisors, I disagreed with supervisors, had verbal altercation with court personnel and counsel supervisors, then shouldn't that be reflected, even if they didn't write down the counseling or what it was about, then why would I get evaluation after that said that I performed all fives perfectly, couldn't get better? Could it be that she's lying under oath? She's committing perjury? She ought to go to jail for that. She's not lying to Congress. She's lying in a courtroom, a court proceeding. It's called fraud. It's called perjury. It's a criminal offense. And it's caused the fatality rate to rise. So let's look at what she says. So she says that there was counseling, but it wasn't for disagreeing with supervisors and having verbal altercations in the court offices. Yeah, I disagreed with supervisors. I did. I filed a complaint appropriately through the Department of Safety about Lionel Russell. He was asking me to do things that were dangerous for me. I wrote it out, signed my name to it. I didn't argue with him about it. If I had anything for him to say about his orders, I'd ask him. I would say, Sergeant Russell, may I speak? Because it's a military organization. If he said no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't speak. I didn't have any altercation with supervisors. That's a lie under oath, Satterfighter. She made her rulings with her decisions as a colonel with a lady out behind the station smoking cigarettes. So she said that, yeah, he's had altercation with supervisors. Okay, let's look at the facts. Captain represents that Miss Morgan has conflict with supervisors and court officers and provides no written evidence of this. She's lying under Miss Morgan has written evaluations that say the exact contrary. Captain Satterfighter is a liar made up after the fact. I didn't have any verbal altercation with supervisors. It says here, Ronald McDonald, 3/01/2011 to 02/29/2012 covers the period that she's talking about. Rating 5, exceptional. Tucker Morgan is consistently prepared when attending court and type of court, making sure that all necessary information is available to prosecute cases to the full extent of the law. He will confer with prosecuting attorneys for guidance on more serious cases. He is professional in his demeanor while attending court. Sounds like somebody's lying. Satterfighter, you're a liar. You lied under oath. You criminal. It's not defamation. If it's true, she lied under oath. Said I had arguments with court. Doesn't have any record of me having an argument with any court officers. Doesn't have any record of me being counsel for having disagreements with supervisors. I even have a supervisor that gave me 5s that says the exact opposite of what she has no record for. By default, I win, don't I? Lying Satterfighter. So they lie under oath. Look at this. Avoids any conflict with personnel. She says there was counseling. It was for disagreeing with supervisor having verbal altercation in the court with court officers. This is Ronald McDonald, my supervisor, says always reports to court prepared and on time and gave clear testimony. He thoroughly views the facts of the case and when needed consults with district attorney. So it says the exact opposite of what she's lying about under oath. She testified to her lie under oath, got all 5s. Wow. How about that, Satterfighter? You'd be a dirty liar, wouldn't you? A dirty creep liar. Took the leading trooper off the road for DUI arrest. Went out to frame somebody, didn't you? Yeah, 13 years later, you sorry piece of dirt. People died because of you. They're dead. People had to knock on doors and explain to people's families that their loved one was killed by a drunk driver because you, by specific and general deterrence, you increased the rate of death on the road. You're out there, public, she's out there. The fat piece of dirt. She is still living off your tax money by facilitating a lie. Got promoted for a lie. And I'm not just saying, I'm telling you, that's kind of serious. The lie didn't die, it still goes on. There's 45% more fatalities in the state now than it was then. And these idiots even caused it where they hurt themselves. Driver serious incident, 13/2024. One of the majors now that caused the fatality rate to skyrocket got hit by one of the people that she caused herself. So go figure that kind of poetic justice. So we may go down to the courthouse here in just a second. Let's look at some more of their lies. Under oath. Tomorrow we'll tell you about how Trotz got how Sergeant Larry Russell, Lion Little Russell, got promoted. Did he have education? Did he have job performance? Or did he have somebody in power paying for the governor's campaign? Do we have any proof of that? Find out tomorrow, maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. Am I lying or what? I got some pretty good evidence, don't I? And if people think I'm mad and upset, I'm not. I'm having fun. I like to fight. That's who I am. They started to fight with somebody that won't quit. So let's look at the beautiful view. The Sun Spear. I worked at the Sun Spear in 1982. Like, share, comment, and contribute if you can. Let's read some of the comments. So, let's see. Detective, tomorrow is Saturday. Yeah, I was going to line under oath as simply breaking the law. No, it's not. It's called perjury. Then we're going to see smoke in progress. Stroke in progress. No, you're not. This guy was charged with intimidating voters also. Yeah, that's right. I got a mug shot. Did you finish the sentence, or are you going to be fraudulent? Lethal sharks. That the charges were dropped because I didn't intimidate voters, that they arrested me for running for public office. Did you finish that, idiot? So, and why are you on my page? Were you trying to intimidate me? Yeah. Thank you for being on here and spreading lies, because you're helping my views. Sounds like to me they're trying to hold you responsible for someone else's actions, breaking the law. That's right. Counseling is a non-written form of discipline. Okay, that's right. Counseling is a non-written form of discipline. But evaluation should reflect your conduct. Why wasn't it on the evaluation? Why would they counsel you for misconduct? And then when you get evaluation, see, you don't even make sense. See how? And then when you get evaluation, wouldn't they give you a 4 instead of a 5, saying that you weren't perfect? Why would they give you perfect for something that they counseled you over? That doesn't make any sense, does it? So really? They gave me all 5s because I didn't receive any counseling. I didn't have altercations with court personnel where I did anything wrong. Liar. Yeah, okay. Well, just out of curiosity, how many of them have you been? What are you talking about? Nope. I thought it was Blount County. You are nuts. Well, thank you, Gaslighter. This is the country of Dixon, East Tennessee. What state is he in? Okay. Yeah, but so let's look at some more stuff Trots to the Bathroom did. So we've been on here, man, about a little bit over an hour, but we was on for about 30 minutes before. So let's talk about the side by side so you can see this. And if you want a copy of my book, just write me at 3434 Gene Street, Knoxville, Tennessee 37920. Send me a check for $100 and I'll sell you a book that has all this evidence side by side and more details. Talks about government crimes and people in power and support the movement. Or email me at charlesvanmorgan@gmail.com. And we got a book written, and we'll send you all this in book form, and you can look at the evidence yourself. So if you want the book, let me know. So Trott's deposition, page 16, line 6. You drove the scene, but it's fair to say that you drove in the exact conditions of Trooper Morgan, correct? I wasn't chasing anybody, if that's what you mean, but I tried to make it as lifelike as I could. So it says chasing, inferring that I was chasing somebody. Have you involved in a crash where somebody was killed? Yes. Were you involved in the crash? I was in pursuit, vehicle just like Trooper. So he changed it to pursuit. When Trott speaks of the pursuit, even though they admit it was legal, Mr. Morgan followed all Department of Safety rules. Trott says in the negative connotation that Mr. Morgan was chasing someone, falsely implying causing him to run. Although later, when speaking of his own deadly pursuit, he changed his language to pursuit instead of the falsely incriminating chasing. That is just one example of how Colonel Trott, Tracy, Department of Safety is misleading, changing circumstances, case giving the wrong perception, not an accurate representation of the facts. Trott correctly at first reported of pursuit in the same paragraphs incites criticism by interchecking a young man that was killed, failing to mention the man was a serious threat to himself and others and to society. So let's read you a parody about Trots. I've read this before, I'll read it again. You know, Trump likes to read the snake thing where you invite a snake in and you news. And this is a parody about Trots that I made up. It's a parody, see, parody. And the Supreme Court said a parody's all right to say. So parental discretion is advised. If you got children, you might not want them to hear this. Take it however you want to. So, warning, Trots to the bathroom. Not suitable for children. Parody. Now there he is right there. Okay, here's what it says. Trots talks about his first time. It was in an outhouse with a dog watching. Trots, my first time was in an outhouse outside Fall Branch, Tennessee at a trooper convention. Me, was it cramped? Trots. Not after I kicked the dog out. Me, I see you must tell me all about it. Trots, I never really expected to make it with Mom, but after she showed all the guys in town such a good time, I figured, what the hell. Me, but your mom, isn't that a bit odd? Trots, I don't think so. Looks don't mean that much to me in a woman. Me, go on. Trots, well, we were drunk off our God-fearing asses, driving down the road, drinking Jack Daniels liquor. Trots, how was it? Trots, the liquor was great, but Mom passed out before I came. Me, did you ever try it again? Trots, sure, lots of times, but not in the outhouse. Between Mom and the shit, the flies were too much to bear. Me, I mean the Jack Daniels liquor. Toots, oh yeah, I always get slashed before I give out troop awards. You don't think I can lay down all that bullshit sober, do you? So I lost people. Trots caused the release of hundreds of drunk drivers. As a result, more people were killed. Committed fraud by pursuing a fake case. I paid for my expert, that was his expert. Your tax dollars paid thousands for his liars, and crooked Tennessee judges got promotions for putting the weight of law on lies. They will lie on you too. So that's just a little parody. If that's not very Christian, then I'm sorry. It's a parody. It's a joke. Jerry Falwell versus Larry Flint says a parody is legal. So it might not be very nice, but it's legal. That was a parody. This party in here is not a parody. That's the truth. What Trot actually did. So tomorrow, maybe we're on here. Maybe, it may not be. Depending on how much contributions we get. We may talk a little bit more about Trot's lies. And we're going to, if we flip the script, we'll investigate him for murder. Evil forces are trying to destroy our government by making them ineffective and not allowing them to do anything. Elections should matter. So elections matter. You got these people out here trying to say that we to restrict the president's power, and I don't agree with that. But we need to reach out to others to facilitate the social movement of power to you, the people, and get voters and supporters to our social movement, and be able to investigate Mr. Trots for possible murder, homicide that he admits to being in pursuits where people were killed and shooting at people, and try to put him in jail for murder and for his horrendous acts. So thank you all so very much for joining me this morning. This is the second attempt this morning. We'll show you some of the beautiful view. Hang on. Monday we may go down to the courthouse and put up our sign that they have mysteriously taken down. We're going to show you some more of the view, so hang on. I've heard people tell me they like the beautiful view here in Knoxville. So we may be quiet for just a few minutes and show y'all the view if you want to see the view from the Gay Street Bridge. Excuse me, the Henley Street Bridge. We can film look at the Gay Street Bridge. It's just across the bridge. We're on the Henley Street Bridge. So come on, come on in. We'll show you the beautiful view. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and we thank y'all who died, not me. And that's one of the important things. So here's the sunrise this morning. And thank you all so very much for joining. There's the Gay Street Bridge. And there's Neyland Stadium. You see right there. University of Tennessee campus. And there's the Gay Street Bridge that's been open since was built in 1898. Beautiful Gay Street Bridge. So if you like the view, hit the like icon and subscribe. So thank y'all for joining me today. Probably be back tomorrow morning, maybe Monday. And God loves you, and I do too.